We've seen that Lifestealer has still holding like a very high priority in picks at both this tournament as well as MDL. The success of the hero hasn't been like as dominant as the pick rate would suggest.
Correct.
It's like, I think it's 50% at MDL, and I think it's like the hero's definitely still very good. It's just there are a lot of meta heroes that match up against.
I want to ask all three of you the stock you put on the 3 series that play between these teams, because there are mitigating circumstances, all 3 of them. As we do see those Ember, Troll, Prophets.
Yeah, they did this twice.
They've split that, haven't they? Yeah.
That was Shadow Fiend was their opening ban in both previous games. They took out the SF and the Visage, OG did, in both the 2 previous games. I like this a lot better, okay? Because I don't think Gambit's Visage, first of all, yesterday we saw against Secret, looks like it may have been figured out a little bit. And their SF Visage, I don't think their SF is nearly as potent without the Dahak Visage.
Definitely. I also, look, Gambit's first pick. So they don't have that overall.
Yeah.
And
I was just going to point out the Lifestealer, by the way, will finish this tournament as the most. It can't be overtaken now.
Oh wow!
In terms of pixel bans, it's
no
91%. Right?
Well, this is the thing. So 2 out of the 3 big no-tail heroes in the Chen and the Nature's Prophet get taken out. Gambit will take the other one on the board. The Enchantress is still there if they want it. I'm curious if they'll go in that direction.
And OG are also leaving out the Visage, which they didn't do last time, which is kind of a dangerous situation because Gambit are going to be able to go and second pick it if they want, and then go into some bans, right? Unless OG, preemptively at least have some heroes that can't deal with the Visage, which, especially with a team like Gambit, if we were talking about somebody else like Secret, and we were talking about the what was their combination, like Leshrac, Kunkka, like if it's something like that, you would say we can't preemptively pick against that because Secret has such a wealthy hero pool. But against Gambit, like, they've been doing the same kind of stuff over and over again. So you're very likely to see, the Nyx Assassin, this Visage, like, you can kind of draft into that.
Yeah, but I think, so the Monkey King, they're going to go ahead and pick up in the first phase. I think
Interesting.
The Secret Series was very informative because when you talk about Gambit's Visage, it's not just how to counter Visage, it's how to counter their particular way of playing the hero. And I thought that when you saw Puppey take the Brewmaster for that AoE offensive purge, take away the ability of Dahak to rush that Crimson Guard to protect the Gravekeeper's Cloak in the mid-game, all of a sudden that became a hero that in these 15-20 minute fights you could go on. And they just basically didn't let him leave that bottom lane area. When they play that hero, they're so active around the map. This is the other thing, though. Secret banned this hero first phase both times in the game against them yesterday. I think Dahak's Ursa has been every bit as good as his Visage. They are 10-3 in the last 13 games on that hero.
He likes to play versus Monkey King too.
Yep.
It's one of those matchups that can go both ways, of course, but an Ursa can just eat a Monkey King before he gets anything off.
Yeah, Monkey King doesn't like playing versus Coddle either.
No, he does not. You just get blinding light, you get pushed out of your
both out of your tree and your ultimate. It's not a fun situation for you.
Dire team back.
Enchantress, obviously, like for a long time, hasn't liked Ursa. It's a little bit better than it used to be, just because of the spell.
There's a historical ban from OG. They've got some PTSD over the use of 3 of the last 7 games against Gambit. Did you want to pick up on that point I was going to make as we headed into the draft? We kind of got cut off there about the three series. The first series is online, so you kind of go, it's online.
Yeah.
The second series is at the minor, first tournament for ILTW. There are mitigating circumstances. The group stage, okay, I think that's the first legit Gambit series win over them, where they seem to be in the right place, as it were.
And they lost the same way.
Yeah,
like,
which would suggest
twice,
then that you would go, okay, maybe we do put more stuff in the previous series.
Yeah, I think the last 2 series have definitely been meaningful. Again, when you talk about,
Do you think even with ILTW,
no, I think it's less
been there
meaningful
like a
because
day,
of the
right?
fact that in this tournament they lost in the same to like 2 games in the same kind of draft. Like for me, I feel like OG is easely the team that would learn from that list.
I don't know. I don't know how to parse that just because that stat is still screaming at me that if you take away the 4 games against Gambit, OG are 24-1 in sub 30-minute games.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Gambit are the team that's figured them out. And part of it is picking these heroes for Dahak like Ursa that can both pressure their particular lane and can get active around the map so early and have kill potential on Topson's hero.
And they set him up for success too. Like I was mentioning a lot of times when the Ursas were being picked, I was talking about the Veno a lot in the panels, even though we hadn't seen it even touched and they take it out.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
making sure that
very-
this Ursa
wow.
can have a great game, and they just...
Isn't it a really good Viper
I mean,
game now?
this comes back to what FNG said in the interview
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
They've both got their ways of playing, and they're going to stick to it.
Especially after what we've seen with at MDL, right? The Viper getting picked up against the Monkey King. And I think, what Paul, you were saying is really important, right? Gambit is a team that's going to
10
stick to their
seconds
guns.
remaining.
Okay, they're a team that was on fire with Ursa, had
5
won 10 straight
seconds
games,
remaining.
all of a sudden lost 3 straight, and had no hesitation picking it up in the 4th game. That we know that. I am a little bit surprised that they didn't take out the PA Gambit in the 2nd phase. I like that Magnus ban, but I thought Mag PA were definitely going to be their 2 2nd phase bans.
OG's turn to
I feel like
pick.
you have to know that they're picking PA here. They've
Yep.
literally played Ember, Troll, or PA pretty much exclusively on ILTB. Maybe Lifestealer or 2 of them, give or take. But
How much does FNG knowing what ILTW likes to play? How much?
I think it's
Oh,
huge.
that's a good point. That's a
Because
really
he
good
will
point.
know which ones he likes playing, and they'll have had discussions about it in the past.
And he's got,
10
Eastern
seconds
European
remaining.
player, right?
Yeah.
FNG will know him very, very
Yeah.
well.
And they also know
5
he's a
seconds
tilter.
remaining.
He's
Well,
a
only,
tilter
only,
in
only,
pubs.
only if you tip him a lot.
Only if you tip him.
So they're gonna try to ban.
Yeah.
Can they fit Venge into the lineup? Do you think Venge is a viable support? Is basically what
They
I'm
played it
asking. 'Cause
yesterday, right?
I thought it was
OG?
really cool though that
The
OG,
mid- Yeah.
the way
I-
they did it with PA last time.
I want this. I will throw this out right now. I want this to be a 4-position Monkey King.
So then he's going to need something like a Darkseer or something to enable him, right?
That's fine. That's fine. Darkseer hasn't been one of Seb's better
I
heroes
don't like
necessarily.
him on it personally.
Okay.
I like this way better.
This is Secret's answer.
I think you have to pick a brew here. You have to pick a team fighter in specific. You're fighting
Yeah.
versus an Earth Spirit Coddle at the moment. Right now, you look at OG's draft and they have like no team fight. It's the Monkey King only. But then when they pick the brew, it's starting to look much better. They can actually try to take these fights versus this Coddle and Earth Spirit.
And simultaneously, OG can't outgreed Gambit the
10
way like
seconds
Secret was able to do.
remaining.
Right? One of the big ways they
OG's
abuse the
turn
fact
to
that
bat.
they have this special thing with
It's a
Visage where
great
they
pick.
just go in jungle with Ancients is that they felt compelled to go fight despite the fact they were getting that extra efficiency because Secret had that outgreeded.
Is that Brewer preempt to the fact that they thought Gambit would go to Visage?
Not necessarily. I think that the Brew is just a solid all-around pick here in terms of the team fight stability that it provides, just like these guys were saying.
I think he's also an aura buyer for the PA, which is
Exactly.
pretty important.
I
can't
think the
run
biggest
like
thing to
Tide.
me here
5
is that,
seconds
again,
remaining.
Gambit don't get that final pick. So this Monkey King is still open. So
Yeah,
Gambit
that's
are
a good
going to
point.
have to show. It's probably we're probably looking at something like an OD here for Athaninja. I would also, I think Kunkka's probably still okay too. Although the laning matchup there against the Monkey King, I'm not sure about.
Kunkka would give them a great... I mean, I love Kunkka.
I do
they,
too.
Like right now, I think their catch is a little bit limited. It's a lot, pretty reliant on the Earth Spirit, so having an extra method of catching could be pretty sweet.
And the thing is, I also think what Kunkka does is with core brew, I feel like you're much more cooldown reliant than you would be when brew was on support, like with Secret.
What about Storm Spirit? There is like no disable on OG.
Yeah, I was just thinking the
Oh,
same
wow.
sort of thing as do OG need to be careful of the hunt?
They have a lot of physical damage on OG.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah, the Storm's probably the
hard
better
physical.
one, isn't it?
yeah, the Storm. I mean, it's literally
Although-
a boundless strike as the disable
Yeah.
right now versus the Storm, and he has a Coddle on his
It's
team who
just
can feed him
Dire
mana.
team ban.
Storm is a sick
Ooh.
call.
They banned the Timber.
Timber.
That also, I think that would have
has
also
banned
been.
Timber in like 6 straight drafts.
Yeah, I think that also would have been pretty devastating for them. Same thing. There's not really a whole lot of
Yeah.
disables, and this, Timber would have destroyed the.
Would have wrecked.
The
Just
downside of
so much
Storm is
damage.
that he's matched into Monkey King for the laning phase, where
Yes.
Timbersaw loves that matchup.
Now,
That is a good
Uses him.
point.
But
10
the other thing
seconds
is, when you
remaining.
see the Doom on the other side, you also have to respect OG's 5th pick
5
Oracle.
seconds remaining.
They love drafting that Harvest save for Jerax.
Looking for an ILTW here. If we assume
No.
that Monkey King is a 4.
No,
It's
I think
the PA.
ILTW is the PA.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's-
It's,
All right,
and
of course,
the
yeah.
flex values in the Monkey King is
Yeah.
that going to be Topson or Jerax?
Right.
And so it's down to whether or not you want to pivot back to something like Nyx is still on the board, Oracle is still on the board, or
Yeah.
whether you turn around for something like a Topson
Dire
Invoker.
team pick. OG.
That's probably the OD. Oh, wow.
They're
Into
going to
the
take the
fight.
Viper.
You were saying it earlier. It looks like a great
No,
Viper
I
game.
think-
Now is
But
where I
there's-
think they pivot and make the Monkey King a support.
That is a super strong Viper pick. Now it's that hero they can rally around. Gives them like it's like a bit, but actually it's catch now too because you go this Atos build, so that provides them catch. It's gonna break both the Monkey King and the PA inside of the fights.
So what can beat Viper in lane? Pugna,
10
Drow,
seconds.
There's a
Invoker,
lot of
something
heroes.
like that?
There's a lot of heroes
Yeah.
that beat him in lane. Because the first few levels you don't
5
like put pressure.
seconds
You farm
remaining.
really well, but you don't put pressure so much anymore on this Viper.
Also, part of the danger is that you can beat the Viper in a one-on-one. They also have to consider that there's going to be an Earth Spirit.
Sure.
So
sure.
there's
the
certain
Roam,
heroes
right.
like we were watching
And there's
that.
the Invoker.
It is
Yeah,
the Invoker.
that's what I was convinced OG was going to go that direction. I think they figured Gambit out. I really do.
It provides a lot. It gives them more team fight too, so now they're not only reliant on that Brewmaster.
That to me, that Invoker pick tells me that OG have made the adjustment because I think in an earlier draft they would have left Thompson on that Monkey King. They'd have left him in that incredibly unfavorable matchup. I think OG has this figured out.
I think the Invoker has to have a good game. I know he's probably gonna go for the Katowice build. I think he has to because otherwise it's far too greedy. I think if the Invoker has a bad game, this could be like a super fast stomp from Gambit.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
it's still a really good Viper game, and he's got the Earth Spirit rolling in on an Invoker. Like I could see Invoker having a bad laning phase. You've got a PA versus a Viper who doesn't like that matchup at all.
But
Do him into
remember-
Invoker as well.
But
Yeah.
remember that Invoker, the Katowice Invoker, once he gets to about level 5, once he gets those 2 or 3 points in Quas, he's much more robust against those early roams.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
like, can Thompson get to that 5-ish minute mark where he's got the 3 points in Quas, and I think he's fine.
All right.
I don't think you are fine, actually.
Okay.
Earth Spirit rolls on you, he kicks you back into a... I don't care how tanky you are.
I'm
I
a
think you're
bit
still
worried.
dying.
I'm a bit worried for OG, but it's really going to be all eyes on that mid lane.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we're ready for game number 1. These guys are a little bit indecisive as to the way this could go. So, in theory, we should be in for a very good game between OG and Gambit. Game number 1.
My thanks. No one! Better luck next time.
Prepare for battle.
Don't be mad, it's just not fair.
Well, Red Eye's giving us a theory that this could be a good game 1. I'm happy to go along with that one for Gambit versus OG. It's the first game of our best of 3 lower bracket. Who will advance forward to face up against Team Secret? We decide that here and now. Kyle, how do you feel? The panel was bouncing around a little bit. They were swinging one way, then swinging the other, and the question mark of how the Viper is going to work as well. A new hero, which we've actually been watching Team Liquid already this morning. First phase picking this hero.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely more valuable than I think the meta at this tournament's given it credit for. And if you look at the side of OG, he disables 4 passives
30
on the enemy
seconds
side.
to
That's why
battle.
you have to make the Monkey King a support here, because if he's standing in Nether Toxin, you actually don't even acquire Jingu stacks. Makes your hero pretty much unplayable. And I think the Gambit lineup's going to be able to play with a ton of tempo here. OG's going to need a big performance from No-Tail influencing the lanes.
So you get a fast tempo. You have Doombringer
helps.
as well with crap tons of money. If they can actually get this kill onto Hawk very early on, the extra bonus damage is there. And that will be first blood going to the Monkey King, who is in that support role.
How did he die? First has a 25 move speed advantage on those heroes. I know you get hit by the Uv, but how did they get in range of him in the first place? Did he just walk up that high ground?
Yeah, he was walking up the high ground. He was looking like he was trying to make an aggressive ward, but already planted the observe ward in mid lane.
Weird.
So maybe trying to run a distraction play and saying I'm running in front of Roshan to now plant this ward. Just hilarious to watch 23 seconds in and that bounty rune still exists up on top. These things have been probably the most contested.
This is cool. They're going to be laning aggressively the Enchantress and the PA. I expect that we'll probably see a TP from Jerix at some point. This is really favorable for OG because they have a support Monkey King against a dual melee offlane, and Enchantress up top can just smack this Ursa in the face, one of the only ranged heroes with somewhat adequate move speed to deal with Ursa.
I'm actually kind of sad we don't get to see what we were joking about early on. Okay, so FNG finally FNG's gonna die? No-Tail's gonna enchant, and they both went to deny the rune, but FNG is so low on life. No-Tail's just gonna finish him up, but no, can't see him through the tree line, back underneath the tier 1 tower. Well, we were joking about Shaka working with the early Devourer over on a Doombringer, and just a crazy amount of farm you can get bottom lane again. Jirax, all that bonus damage. Is that even a kill? Mischief just dodging the attacks from the tower, and once again, OG finding the power through that Monkey King while FNG hiding in the tree lines. No-Tail's going to trap him in, and Illumina will only tickle the OG lineup, who is now 3-0.
Wow.
And they're the ones running the fast tempo.
And it's like Kevin brought up in the Weatherman segment. If you look behind the wave, Immersion was once again not actually contesting the lane, but choosing to pull that second creep wave all the way in front of tier 3. So he's leaving his Doom on an island to just get zoned out solo by a Monkey King. You can't trade hits with this hero. So yeah, you're denying a wave, but Afterlife's just screwed the whole time this goes on. And OG still have lane control because they tank their own wave in front of tower. They're just completely owning the bottom lane.
They own the bottom. They've had a pretty damn good time up on top. The only other question lane you're going to have is in mid, where Thompson's is being pushed back pretty deep. But Afo, fair chunk of damage and doesn't have any regeneration nearby. Thompson, of course, has just got to course up.
He actually canceled the salve there with the cold snap. And as Nahaz brought up, I mean, you look at the regen from 2 Quas, he'll be able to sustain. You gotta be careful after the day.
Range Rasmus doing up bottom lane. Immersion. It's going to be Boundless Strike to slap him down, and the range attack from Jirax to finish the job. They're initiating pretty heavily underneath that tier 1 tower. It's just so, it's going to be so difficult. 2 melee on the off lane against the support Monkey King, who's very, like, he doesn't even care if he dies. He'll create the space.
And it's really cool. You'd think that Ursa's a counter to Enchantress, but keep in mind that that W, the enchant, that actually will dispel the overpower.
Seb even dodges the rolling boulder coming in. There's no vision looking for this. It's just the daytime vision from the creep wave.
It feels like the supports of OG are just tailor-made to defeat the Gambit cores in lane. Like, you can't actually play aggressively as the Hawk. He's going to get moved on now. And if he pops overpower, it's just cleansed immediately. You can't trade with PA.
This is just a bit of a nightmare for Gambit. They need to find a way to stem the bleed, or at least try and batten down the hatches. ILTW is going to have all the time in the world. Afro is going to be fine underneath the tier 1 tower, so they can hug this at least. Where's the other options you've got? Like Thompson, like that was the mid lane. That's what the Panelists wanted to look at. It was funny because most of the action ended up happening on the side lanes. But Afro versus Thompson, Afro is still getting just a little bit ahead when it comes to this the CS.
It's to be expected though. Viper is a pretty solid lane dominator. I'd say that if you can get away with an Invoker and trade evenly, especially the way these side lanes are going, you're totally happy with this if you're OG. It only gets worse for you up top when Enchantress starts getting creeps, a couple more levels. He's just actually solo pushing Ursa out of the lane. It's a level 2 Enchantress.
They've broken the Thompson Invoker in mid with Immersion trying to initiate. Forces a TP in from Jirax. No kill coming the way of Gambit. And what does Seb instantly do? Runs towards the Doombringer. But that is a Doombringer.
But they've done such a great job at shutting him down that Seb's going to have... He already has 1,200 gold. Doom just Brow Boots. Jarek's now going to hop through the trees. Might look to set up a kill here.
Gonna bounce down right on top of the Doombringer, keep that slow up, and then start stacking up the Jinku. No Tower will die in the meantime. So the Hawk finally getting himself on the board, but Doombringer, the Boundless Strike. Slapped him back to the underworld. Meanwhile, it was the battles for the 5-minute runes. And Gambit come out on top of those.
Radiant's top tower.
I don't know if you mind if you're OG, it's all about the experience more so than the gold. You're still winning your lanes. I'm afraid, I'm not a huge believer in support Monkey King, but when you get first blood and you're in this favorable of a matchup, like it actually looks dominant. No one from Gambit can come down here anymore.
I should also flag the fact that it was actually ILTW got both of the bounty runes up on top. So while Gambit, I thought, oh, it's great because they got both the ones on bottom. They're stuck underneath their tier 1 tower on top lane. ILTW gets hit pretty heavily by the blast, but with No Tail arriving, he's got a lot of support and just an easy way to stand on the lane.
4 out of the top 5 net worths, all OG heroes. In Gambit's lineup, I favored them, but...
They go towards mid, rolling boulder forward, going towards Thompson. There's your kick back. He does get the EMP Tornado off, creating a little bit of space so Immersion can't chase him, and Afro's got nothing to really fight with.
Mana.
He needs one shot. The Thompson will even grab the DD rune on the way through.
walks straight to the shrine, doesn't even care. And this seemed to be Secret's answer to Gambit as well. Shut down Immersion. He's 0-1-0, one of the best roamers in the CIS region, but he just can't get anything done.
Doombringer, Jirax wants to keep chasing him down, able to keep connecting in. With those early phase boots from Jirax, he can just zone out every melee hero who's alone.
This is tough if you're Gambit. Your lineup's predicated on being ahead. That's the core concept. They want to be on the enemy side of the map, utilizing these tanky cores that can apply pressure to win those one-on-one scenarios, and then have Immersion off map, potentially looking to find kills. When you're behind in lanes with heroes like Viper, Ursa, Doom, like you're run-in heroes. You don't farm waves that effectively. OG.
Rolling ball is coming in again. Thompson, he's actually taunting as he walks a little bit further down. He knows that there is no way the Gambit can kill him. Viper's coming in a little bit closer. Jesse's level 6 with the EMP Tornado. Doombringer, dry as a bone.
This OG is reminiscent of their TI performance, at least in the way that the all chat spam, the confidence that everyone's moving with. It feels like they're playing with absolute no fear. They're dominating their lanes, which is not something they were able to do at TI, but still.
Well, you've come out of your drop and like, hey, everything actually feels really good for us. All the synergy is going to be there. But are they pushing enough? So OG's getting a lot out of this. They're 3k ahead. They're 5-1 on the board, 8 minutes in. Can Gambit fight back? Is there a timing that they can reach on like the Hawk? Is Viper going to reach that point where we were talking, like the fact that he can create problems for the Monkey?
I mean, Viper is never getting to that point at this rate. He's just farming jungle with 2k net worth.
Rolling boulder, they're coming in. Notal will die pretty damn quickly. 3 heroes used to do it, and then they're moving towards bottom lane. Gambit, Keeper of the Light, has to try and push back OG, because that is something he's very proficient at with the Coddle Blast.
I look at the Hawk's skill build and I question, you know, the lack of innovation on this Gambit side. It's fine to pick your heroes, don't get me wrong, but no point. I know most Ursas, they go 0-4-4 nowadays, but I've watched the Hawk, like he can't play aggressively because his overpower is just going to be purged by No-Tail. No points in Earthshock. I feel like that would be at least a way to help Immersion find some kills, but he provides no disable himself. So PA's just safely farming, no problems. Mid, you're gonna have a rotation from Seb. He's got ultimate active and an invis room. This is a great movement.
He just needs to find somebody. But for the moment, it's like it's heavy stacking over on the side jungle. Gambit want to initiate up on top, so rolling boulder. That wasn't who Immersion wanted to go to, so he has to go over towards the kick to Hawk. This is his level of aggression against Notel. Able to do it, enraged up. Will also be able to grab himself the Sada.
Oh, Seb's on the sentry ward.
In on top of Afo.
Careful, Afo, you got no boots.
Such a slow Viper. Support's moving over. The Dire Scanner was the west. They wonder if Seb left, but he didn't. If Seb wants to initiate, he can go into the Bruce split. And ES can't do much about that, but they can see Thompson moving over. Remember, this is nighttime vision's pretty low, and that's why rolling boulder down from Immersion gets himself away from Jirax. And Afo will reach the tier 2 tower safely.
This is just such a miserable Viper game. The way to beat this hero is to neutralize him in the laning phase and then abuse the fact that he just doesn't farm creeps as effective as most other heroes. It's a lot like Razor. Gotta stay ahead. But if you don't ever get ahead to begin with...
Yep. Doom's dead. You can't escape from this one. The clamps will slow him down. You can go into your Scorched Earth, but the amount of damage that Jirax is able to enable for then Seb to get the last hit is just way too good. And this Hand of Midas from the Brewmaster coming at a good time. FNG a little too close. Immersion has to go for the kick, but a nice dodge from Jirax. Very mischievous.
Don't be mad.
Just walking over them, Toby.
I love how too they ensure that Seb gets the last hit as well. They are just trying to rapidly increase his Hand of Midas timing.
Once again, No-Tail with the friendly wolf creep. However he could find a way to utilize this creep, really just the team of OG. We saw Seb ensure that he would have it devoured at all times in that game 2 yesterday.
You got to ban Enchantress and Chen, right, against OG against No-Tail every time.
You got to ban Furion. You got to ban Ember.
Hey, at least you don't have to ban Troll. At least you don't have to ban Ire. You don't have to ban him anymore.
It's a matter of time, though. You can expect OG to maintain this pool of support heroes in perpetuity, really. And if Wisp gets added as well, there's no actual way to ban out No-Tail's pool. Reminiscent of the TI3 Alliance, where everyone knew how they would start their drafts. Couldn't really do anything about it.
Yep. Dirac looking to jump in towards the mid lane, Immersion as well as FNG. Blasting down the wave, good kick. They're actually dropping Dirac down from his trees, and it's going to hold him in position. Mischief, and then with Boundless Strike, but it won't be enough, and that's a good streak to end. It did go on to Immersion, however. Apo would have really liked that money.
Yeah, and I really want to point out just OG's willingness to play each game uniquely, much like Secret. Because he's playing against Viper, because of the state of the game, maybe it's just a Sport Monkey thing, but you see that Jarek's actually maxed out Tree Dance. So that provides he's now able to just farm waves thanks to his experience, and in addition, you're not as affected by standing in Nether Toxin because your hero's more about landing this leap than getting Jingu stacks, but as a level 1 ability, that was enough to just zone out Doom completely. Afterlife at only 2,800 net worth right now. Yeah, it looks like he's still going for Midas. Not sure that's the way you want to go here, because OG is going to be scaling. I feel like you need to get aggressive.
It does feel like game is starting to stagnate a little bit for OG. Like, yeah, they're still finding some kills across the map. They have 3 of the top 4 net worths, but that 5k lead has pushed down a little bit further to about 3,000, and the experience is swinging back the other way.
You're all right with that. Just because you have the PA, you have a Midas on your brew, you'll probably be going something like Vlad's Radiance with a blink there somewhere.
You also,
it's Invoker, it's Hops and
Midas.
Invoker. This is a late game hero.
I'm with you on that front, but at the same time, like I don't want to count Gambit out, and there's just a couple of things that make me start to question, like, is OG as secure as they feel? Because they feel very secure at the moment.
I don't think that they're in any pressure to do something, though. You can see Seb just spamming ult fake casting. They're bored.
Go and fight them,
the downside of the game lineup is that Immersion's the only playmaker. Because he wasn't able to get momentum going, you're now in a spot where you want to use your ultimates. You'd love to pop a Doom on somebody and find a kill, but there's just no one for Immersion to play around. You have a Midas on your Ursa, mid-hero's a Viper. Like, the 3 cores are just actually all farming passively in the jungle. Doom wishes he had a jungle, but unfortunately, both sides have already been occupied.
You actually see, like, the ES is moving across the map, so Immersion, he's trying to be involved everywhere. Obviously, more on the south side.
But more importantly, on the northeast side of the map, he's not able to cross the river, can't find a ford.
They're going to cross this way. Under the cover of smoke, they were just out of range of that Radiant Orbs, I believe. Meanwhile, up on top, the dive is coming in, the Will-O-Wisp, FNG goes up towards the air and he'll hit the ground. But on bottom lane, this is where the rebuttal is going to be. A quick Doom out, Brewmaster, no split available, and with the Magnetize, No-Tail's also on the run. Dahak trying to buff himself up, looking for that big fight in. No-Tail turns quickly, but is there going to be enough damage? Dahak still going underneath the tower, combining with Immersion. So it's a 2-for-1 trade-off. And then Gambit add pressure to the T1 tower, because the save is being done up on top by OG.
Yeah, it was well played by Immersion, setting up that kill. They have to get the Doom off before split. It was well timed. Surprised that Seb actually died to that. He had a ward.
TP's in the bottom lane.
He has no ult.
Puts down this full Spirit Vessel, and you're right, no ultimate, and he's actually got the money. He hasn't spent it yet, but he can buy a Blink Dagger if he dies right now. Actually, he doesn't want to. One charge will give him some life. Still hasn't bought that Blink Dagger. Dahak gonna be efficient. ILTW, vision up the hill. They know that Deafening Blast connects. 55 HP, and they find the kill. He'll buy the Blink Dagger, so they will be delayed that timing of the critical item. Immersion will die himself as well on that bottom lane. 4 heroes from OG rotate over.
This Spirit Vessel on Katowice Invoker, you just pop a Cold Snap on someone, it's going to proc every single tick opportunity. Oh yeah, OG just have this massive team fight advantage, specifically their counter initiation. If you don't Doom the Invoker, it's going to be reminiscent of last game where Thompson offers so much peel and save for his team. The Gambit lineup, they want to find that initial kill, and then boom, you drop the Coddle ult. Now you have your team fight, but I don't know how they're going to get that first target. Thompson's hands are on his keyboard.
They're going into Roshan.
15 minutes in, just typical OG.
You've got Vlad's, you've got a little bit to work with. It's the alacrity of Thompson's giving ILTW the damage, but Immersion, he's going to come over. No-Tail's very close. They start off with a kick already. No-Tail down to half-life. FNG wants to get a position so he can actually get something out. Will-O-Wisp off cooldown in 3 seconds time. Watch that mark, especially as Dahaka's already killed off Nortel. Luna flies in towards the pit. They see Roshan at 1/3, but they want the kill. Rolling boulder forward with the Magnetize and the Will-O-Wisp and the blinding light. They're in way too deep. Thompson wants to try and fight out, but Afro's just breaking him out. Invoker can't do anything. They'll fight back quickly. Immersion will finally go down, but here comes your Blast right over OG, hitting Jirac so hard he can't beam there, but it's the big army. The center will finally go down. The Brewings are about to time out. After was managed to live through all of this, couldn't get the one charges off in time. No buyback available for him, and OG, thanks to their buybacks, they are able to stand in front of the pit, but can they finish what they started? They're going to try.
They spent their advantage on that buyback. They need this Aegis, as you said, to make this value.
Keeper of the Light's going to be ready again. The
Katowice
Blast is coming in. You got the Blink Dagger on the Earth, so they're going to get some extra information. It hits pretty hard. Jirax and ILTW, they're low. And ILTW, he's already got the open slot. It looks like it will be there, Roshan. Another Blast in. Man, that's a very, very low. Don't get bashed. ILTW, but they have the Aegis of the Immortal.
I will rip you apart.
Surprised they didn't look to take that engagement, but they're just not confident. With no Coddle ult and no Earth Spirit's Magnetize, it's very dangerous. You can see the amount of peel. Once again, the Ursa specifically is going to have a tough time. Eventually, Force Staffs are going to come online. You've got Monkey King with the stun, Bruised tossing in the air, more stuns, split.
Yep.
Dagger spam, Purge spam from Enchantress, and then Thompson Invoker. It's so hard to play these melee heroes.
Yep. But it was the control package you were talking about before. Dahak, okay, he's going to rage. He doesn't have mana for a TP, even with the 3-1 charges. Now connect on the Boundless Strike. Now he's got 4, and now the mana for the TP is available. A blink away. And Ursa is able to escape the clutches of OG.
They're able to push mid in the meantime.
TP's coming in. You've already got Nether Toxin down. Lock him in. Rod of Atos. Brewmaster can't go anywhere. Quickly deleted. And Nortel will be the follow-up. Viper is just doing the work. A double kill for him. You said so far Afro's had some issues, but during that whole fight around the front of Roshan, he was completely uncontested in his positioning. The Rod of Atos timing has been perfect.
And OG, very sloppy. You're trying to defend a mid-tower. This is what Gambit wants you to do. They're just going to try and roll over you. And if you're trying to take a fight with equal numbers, let alone at a disadvantage, you're going to get wrecked. There's a reason Viper's getting first picked in other tournaments. You can't threaten these heroes. And Seb, he didn't even have a split up. So really, they didn't even need to doom him. He's just teleporting in, hoping that his balls are so big that he'll intimidate Gambit into retreating.
Sorry, Thompson's the only one who's got the balls and he's juggling them, but he'll have to juggle them pretty well to survive bottom lane. The Silence turns on, and Invoker, man, he's in so much trouble. A push back, but it won't help. It disarmed Ursa. He'll still get the collapse. The damage is available. It'll be the Doombringer to bring down the Infernal Blade and kill off the Invoker. 70 seconds on the sideline. Had long death time because he bought back in front of Roshan. So much time on the sidelines means that Doom, the one who had a horrendous start, is almost the same net worth as the Invoker now.
We finally have a game on our hands, Toby. It feels like Gambit, really shaky start, but the nerves have disappeared. They're now in a position where it's very winnable, but they gotta try and get onto OG's side of the map. I don't believe that they'll be able to outscale the PA, even though Doom and Ursa win Midas, so you can certainly stay in the game, don't get me wrong, you just Doom PA. But at a certain point, Thompson's going to have a Linken's, he's going to place that on the ILTW Phantom Assassin, and there's going to be a win condition for OG all game, which is fight with Doom down or deny it, and there's no longer any control.
You could always just have your other silences. If, like, I suppose it's the upside of not having a BKB that fast for ILTW, but that level 25 talent, is there ever a reason like you're like 120 damage over going the Nether Toxin Silence if you're already having disarm from it as well? If this game is going to go late.
I'm not sure. We'll get to that when we'll cross that bridge later.
Okay, I'm a little too far ahead. Sure. Let's reel it back in. Bottom lane, OG's going to attack the tier 1 tower on bot. Doombringer can do nothing to defend this. Their biggest counter push has come through FNG's Keeper of the Light, who's been doing it tough.
Yeah, but you can see Gambit just very hesitant around the map. They've got 3 heroes playing top, the Call of the Earth Spirit, and the Ursa just hunting. They're going to see Thompson. They dust. Oh no, it was backpacked. If Immersion had Dust active there, they're going to catch Thompson almost
Here's
for
the
sure.
sentry
Now
ward.
he's on
He's walked in. All the rocks come down, but he's out of range of the sentry ward. Is that Dust ready? Yes, it is. So Thompson revealed that they can't keep the attack going, or can they? The rolling boulder forward. They burst on each other. Immersion and Jirex. Jirex will have to pop back down again. The Magnetize turns on an Immersion. He needs to get the hell out of here. Rolling boulder up and away.
But
TP
bottom.
scrolls available, but as you said, on bottom lane. Enchantress has already gone down. The defense is there, but it's top where the TP out is just in time. He's disarmed, but he's alive and back in Fountain.
a lot of cat and mouse, but you can see ILTW playing a lot like we saw Nisha yesterday on this PA. Just not participating. I've got a Battle Fury. I'm going to continue to accelerate. Everyone else, you enjoy yourselves.
And even with the kill count going 12-12, the advantage is actually swinging bet-wise towards OG. It's only 1 point the difference.
I think Thompson's itemization got to be troubling if you're an OG fan. I don't mind it, but when you go Spirit Vessel Force Staff, you're no longer that late game force that we come to expect when we watch, say, like the Miracle Invoker, the mid one Invoker, the no one Invoker. This is very much still that utility. It's weird, but that's Thompson's playstyle in a nutshell.
Weird.
Different.
So unusual. How many more words can we find to describe while Gambit just move around on the cover of smoke, trying to find their own targets?
They're running out of smokes, though. I believe this is their third, possibly their fourth of the game. They used one to kill Thompson earlier. They've been saving this one for some time, but question, you know, this is something that I criticize VP for even. It's just a CIS habit of, hey, guys, like do nothing smokes. Like, we're bored. There's nothing happening. We don't really know what to do here to properly position ourselves. So let's just smoke and see what happens. But Roche hasn't spawned and will not be spawning for 2 to 5 minutes. You want to look to play around that area. I would have preferred to see them utilize that smoke to try and get enemy wards deep into the jungle, because you have bounty runes spawning in 2 minutes. You get the Roche in 2 to 5. Like, that's the time in this game where things are going to heat up.
They just put a
Itemization's
defensive
gonna
one
be
instead.
for that.
Like they just put one watching that top bounty rune, that's it. That's all they achieved in the smoke. They did that underneath their own dire observer ward.
And this is OG. They're going to make that same move. They're smoking 4 wards. FNG, he might pop this. He will. Nice positioning. This is good 5 support play.
Yeah, they're picking out. They know he's in the tree lines. Quick observe ward being planted down and the jump up. So FNG let's break the smoke. Oh, hello, Immersion. He TP'd in towards the tier 2 tower. Afro trying to find Thompson. He's battling against Thompson. Nether Toxins are absolutely everywhere. And now Doom's going to arrive. He gets the Doom over on the Phantom Assassin. And Thompson just locked down in the back lines. The Hawk going to work with Immersion. The Will-O-Wisp giving Afro a little bit more space to get back and to pop off the Greaves. These Bruising Control hasn't done enough. They may be able to kill off the Phantom Assassin. Yeah, you bet. The Hawk with a double kill. Looking for a triple. Seb, he's gone back into his normal Brewmaster. And that is nowhere near as strong. Down he will go.
And I just criticized Gambit. I'm gonna criticize OG as well. Same deal. They get the ward off that they wanted. You get a free pick off. Accept that. Get another ward deep into the jungle. Taking that fight is just not gonna work out for you. You can see Seb, he's forced to split right away. Didn't even get a clap off because he knows that if he's doomed, they may just end up losing the fight. But that just means that now your PA's damage is gonna be neutered, because even with the BKB, he's not able to do enough DPS. And the initial target was Viper?
Yeah.
Like, the guy with Greaves and 2,000 health?
And it was only Thompson, right, who initiated, so it wasn't going to be a quick kill. Doom had time just to walk up and come through the shrine area and just get the Doom off on whatever target he chose.
I like the choice as well from Afterlife to get that Blink Dagger, because his Doom, if he can get it off on a critical target, brew before split, or the PA at any point, you're going to win these engagements. It's still relatively even game. Gambit take their first advantage, I think, for some time. Gotta be feeling confident. Bounty runes are about to spawn in 15 seconds. But this is the downside of the draft, however. No Will-O-the-Wisp, no Doom. It's very difficult to take team fights. OG know this. They're gonna look for an engagement right now.
Yeah, they're smirked up, looking for the 25-minute bounty rune battle. Doombringer, he'll just stand there, grab it, has the Blink Dagger to get away. So this will actually end up being a 3-for-1 trade-off for the bounty runes in favor of Gambit if Immersion wants to cross the river. But OG continue to go in deep, looking for their target.
This ward. OG have the information they need. They place another one deep on that top right hill. It's very nice round road, but you want to ward over aggressively, because usually de-warding will be done closer to the areas where the team thinks you're going to be looking to fight them. Instead, you just get vision of what areas they're currently standing in.
But they're just going to go on the tops, and there's a quick dust going to be triggered, so there's no way to hide, but you can just force staff and run.
And that's how OG are going to win fights. Right there was a perfect demonstration. Hard initiating on a Viper, you're going to get punished every single time. That was a 3 or 4 man FNG against Fattest. You've got to try and kite. Bait the big spells, the Doom and the Will-o-the-Wisp. If you can get one out and then get back, you can re-engage. But you've just got to be careful. And Seb, I think, has to be a bit more conservative with the split usage, because the same goes for Gambit. They've got the PA BKB and the Brew split to really worry about.
I actually love the itemization from Affer going in for this blade mail. You talk about initiating on a Viper, and then you're going to get punished. Like, you initiate, he's got so much armor. He's going to get 27 armor over on this Viper. Not to mention, if PA throws out a dagger, it's like, well, okay, well, let's go, boys. Let's trigger the blade mail. Let's turn around. If you want a piece of me, you'll hurt yourself pretty hard.
In the same spot, mid one, he actually did the exact same thing in that game we watched him play against Gambit yesterday. So obviously FNG reviewed that tape, recognized, hey, maybe we should give this guy a try, and you know, we're new to it, so why don't we just copy what mid one did, as he is the top MMR in the world, along with being arguably on the best team here. But both these sides fighting desperately for a shot to...
Yeah, Gambit want the rematch and OG want the chance.
I think OG are just appreciating the challenge. They're finally back playing some good Dota. Still some mistakes here and there.
Challenge on top lane. Oh, the perfect king. Jirax falls from his perch and the king has been dethroned. Dead for a very long time.
Roche is up.
This observer is paying dividends for OG on bottom lane. They saw Immersion TP in, they saw Doombringer starting to aggressively posture, so OG just back off. They know how hard they can push this lane.
I just realized, look at Jerax's item build. He actually just went Medallion Deso. That means all the Monkey Kings and his Wukongs will be applying that Deso. Huge damage amplification for your PA. And then obviously you can put the Medallion up as well. Really cool. OG, they always find ways to somehow acquire damage, amplification, and reduction, and they do it consistently. It's a big part of the reason why their drafts work, and especially this PA, because he uses damage amp better than most other heroes because of the crit factor. They walk straight into the pit.
Time for the big man.
BKB finished on Doom.
OG was aware too that Roshan's up, that one little stolen creep. Checks the status of it all, but it's already a little too late. Sentry wards it down, they see the Doombringer, that's going to be a big burn. They need to ensure, that's why he just BKBs, so he can still get that Doom up, looking for the target. ILTW will be the one trying to represent, but it's a Will-o-Wisp, creating a little bit more space. Immersion, maybe he can get away with this. One more second, he could Rolling Boulder away. No, that won't happen. It's a big magnetize, heavy damage, and they move towards Afro. Jirax into the Wukong's front. They want a better position to fight, and that's able to enable it. Afro, he's still got so much life, still got so much regeneration. They've already lost the enchanters, but OG are pressuring forward. But the Hawk is bigger. And they move to Invoker. Doomed up this entire fight. Can't be involved at all and will go down, giving a double kill to the Doombringer. And Gambit are rolling forward. 5k advantage, and they're pushing down mid.
Yeah, the PA popped his BKB so early in that fight that ILTW never really got a chance to commit. And without his damage, without him always in that fight, there's no way OG are able to keep up with the output that Gambit's got. And once again, they're setting up on this Viper. Good initiation, but from the Gambit, like OG, they had that opportunity to potentially jump the Doom, but I've had that happen to me so many times with friendly Invokers where the Tornado overlaps with one of my big stuns to kill the Will-o-Wisp, you even kill Immersion, but how you can't choose this cheese Viper as a target. It's not real.
Yep.
Even with the Monkey King ult down, you can see he just turned and hit the Jerax MK in the face and took him out, no problems. Yeah, you've got a lot of damage, but 1400 health, a Monkey King dies.
Dire scanning and pings positive as Seb's going to arrive. He doesn't have Brewmaster split. It was all for the bounty runes, and Monkey King Jirax initiates in over on FNG. Blind Knight push him up, Rod of Atos. He actually dodges it with the Mischief. So not locked in position, and Gambit. Oh, Immersion didn't get the roll that he really wanted, and now ILTW moves forward. Immersion once again the first player to die at the beginning of these fights. The Monkey King wants to get them another target under the Observer. FNG TP out will not work, triggering the bash from the stifling dagger of ILTW. Will allow Thompson to finish off FNG.
And it's the exact same story, Toby. Gambit win a fight, OG not discouraged, know that the big cooldowns are not prepared, and they can then move and get aggressive. Gambit have no interest in taking these fights without everything ready to go. They're perfectly fine sacrificing their supports.
Monkey. He's not going to get this kill. The Hawk actually had a lot of confidence there. He saw the observer ward being placed before he walked around the corner, because the dire sentry ward is in range.
Just look at the net worth. Thompson specifically. The Viper is going to beat him to Ags. That's going to be a big tool and just kiting the PA. There's no Lincolns that's going to be up on anybody for some time. He's just going to spam that Viper strike. He's also talented for it. It's 245 damage per second.
It still feels crazy going into the late game. It's like the Phantom Assassin late game does an incredible amount of damage.
It's going to be difficult for him to stay on targets. He's got Doom to worry about. Viper Strike's going to be constantly spammed on him. There's a Shiva's about to be completed on the Doom. Gambit, I don't know who you actually going to be able to target as this PA.
You play it from range and triple stifling dagger. Try and get some chip damage against Gambit before the fight begins. Them some level of opportunity, because it looks like so far OG's initiation doesn't work anymore. It started with Jirax. Jirax was the way these fights would just begin, but do you feel odd when it's Seb not able to play that stun initiation? It's not a big RP. It's not a hoof stomp. It's not just a slaughter crush. It's this Brewmaster, I'm jumping in, I'm not even going to clap, I'm instantly going to split kind of play.
I think it's just yesterday they had a draft that was tooled to help out their PA carry. This time they've had to itemize for it. Thompson specifically. You can play like triple Wraithband Vlads, you can be very efficient playing those type of heroes, but Invoker is a different style. And when you go for these early game items and you can't close out the game, you can just see he's going to be doubled up by these top cores pretty soon. And
look at the Hawk. He wants to fight. He's got 35 seconds left on this Aegis the Immortal. He just wants one target he could jump on. Bait out ability from OG, and that's what he's going to do. Jumps over, straight up to Thompson. A force-up, almost gets him out of range of the Will-O-Wisp, but at half a second he turned around. Was a second long enough, and Nortel will go down to the Aegis Immortal. It's not even going to be required as they go from one to the other. ILTW jumps over towards Seb. He wants to go in this, but it won't happen. The Hawk is still there. They'll be able to easily find this kill on ILTW. He jumps up, looks for a little bit of a crit. Maybe he starts to have enough damage when he gets the extra backstab and the Abyssal Blade, but no, they just run him down beyond godlike. For Dahak, and the Aegis is gone, and they got 3 kills. They didn't even have to really expend it.
I love watching just simple Dota executed to perfection. Gambit, they finished big items. They got the Shivas on Doom. They got notably the MKB on the Ursa. They still had Aegis. Now is the time to smoke and go. They're already on the OG side of the map. PA dead for 55. Climax helps.
Dahak just chased it. Blinked, fought towards Seb. Couldn't get the connection. Fortification will buy some time. 8 seconds before Thompson's going to live, but this mid-Rax going to be gone before they can really fight. Ronovatos holds Brewmaster in place, and they start over on Notal. Jirax, it's a good boundless strike on 3. No reason I say it's good is because it creates enough space as Gambit look for the kills. They didn't get one, so they have to back up and not take the tier 3 tower, but that's why they just pull out, reinsert, go for the tier 3 tower, but they don't get what they wanted. The BKB being blown from Dahak, and no kill.
It's a disconnect right now. Gambit, FNG, you got to get your squad under control. That's twice now Dahak initiated while his heroes were taking those couple of steps back. He's looking to be aggressive. His team has no interest in doing such. Got to make sure you're on the same page here. You've got a big advantage, but PA is still arguably the hardest carry. And you look at the items he's got queued up. 96 gold on that PA, but he could potentially finish the Nullifier and the Lincolns that he's got queued. That's when things start to turn around for OG, but that third Roach could be everything.
And he
can get a Refresher Doom.
Oof. Yeah, I was gonna say he can have some protection against the Doom, but when you've got 2 of them available, Doom just needs another item that can help trigger the Lincoln Sphere, and he'll do it all himself. ILTW is looking for a kill with Thompson. The person who was close was Afo. They need those aggressive Observer Wars down once more, but the Sentry Wars are bletching both are now over towards Viper. It's not the target they want.
He has a BKB as well, Toby. There's no way you're going to be able to take him down.
FNG,
30 armor.
FNG's the only target they need, right? Like, that's it.
I think Dahak would be ideal, because he's also the main source of sustained damage on the side of Gambit. Afo Ninja would be great, but he's got BKB Shivas. It's just not realistic to think you're going to take out that Doom, who's continuing to scale. Remember, he was behind significantly in the laning phase, but he rushed Midas and that level 15 talent for the Devour bonus gold.
They're smoking and fighting. It's two waves pushing in through the top lane, however. No one from OG is defending this. You know Gambit's looking for it, and they're just using Aphro as bait. Leave him in the mid. Go on it, OG. Go on it. We dare you. We double dare you. We triple dare you.
I like the movement from OG. They're crafty and collected team, even at a disadvantage. But you can feel it in the game. They know they're behind and that they're outmatched in these 5-on-5 engagements. Gambit, they're moving around like a line of tanks. There's no real way to puncture these lines when you're walking around through the jungle with muskets.
One of the catapults got taken out. They're using them to scout from Nortown to get all the backline information. And they're looking towards the Doombringer. What do you want to go on? Monkey King's up at the tree.
Doing everything they can, but Gambit, I think they've got a read on this. They have a nice ward behind them. Just go high ground, folks.
Yeah.
I don't think that even inside the base, your 5-man is penetrable.
Well, OG's not even in position. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to TP back into your base now? Double catapult waves coming through mid. They still want to fight, but they're coming underneath the Dire Observe ward. Seb reveals himself, ILTW as well, and they saw the smoke. And here we go. Dahak finds his target. Overwatch ILTW gets a chain bashes onto the PA. PA is instantly deleted. They can go up for the other kills. Nortel outside the base. The stuns are out. And this really does feel like the game when you've got PA down for 70 seconds. How does OG defend?
That's all they needed, was just the initiation. In a span of 3 seconds, the 2 most farmed heroes on OG died immediately. They did use the Doom. There is a buyback available on the Brew, but PA, he's just so poor. ILTW hasn't been able to get out on the map for a while. And I think if you're Gambit, you just methodically start killing structures.
Yep, take out the mid, move towards the top.
Middle
Can't claim the bottom, mainly because the creep wave is out and the tier 2 tower is still available there.
Impressive showing, really, from Gambit. Remember, this game at a point was tied at 12-12, and it looked like OG was in a dominant position. But since then, 15-4, this kill score.
I'm interested to see how long before Jirax wants to come back. They just accept the fact they've lost 2 lanes of Rax. Jirax has a Rapier queued up, and he's currently farming on the Dire side of the river. Oh boy, they lost. Oh, Nortail. A little too close to the sun, gets burnt.
And I think after this game, throughout the rest of this final day at ESL 1, Viper and Doom specifically have got to be considered stronger heroes than the meta's given them credit for thus far. Specifically this Viper. His game was ruined. I think I also underestimated his farming mechanic, because when you go this Arcane's Atos build, you actually just spam Nether Toxin, and it feels like you're like a Lina moving through the jungle instead of what I always thought of as a ranged DK. Just slow and useless. Not anymore.
Not all knights or dragons have to be the same. They're pushing up through the mid now, OG. Looking to what? Roshan, he spawns right at that moment. And the Forge Spirit's going to scout it out. They need this. They need this so quickly. Alacrity buff up on PA. They need every single crit they can get, but here comes Gambit looking for the defense. FNG starts with the Illumina. This may come a little late. Roshan already down to 3k life, and now here comes the BKB up and the Doom. Roshan, well, he's not down yet. Here comes your Wuko's command. OG can find from the top of the pit, but Thompson is locked down by the Viper. Roshan still needs a kill and an immersion inside the pit. Seb is creating enough space with the Chaos Beast Brilliant and the Stone Strike coming in. Is there enough damage for OG to actually stamp this one? When Invoker fights back Thompson, he disarms, pushing back Afro as well as the Ursa. They're going in again as Brewmaster. He's back to his normal form. They've lost that Chaos timing, and Jirax cannot stand this fight anymore. Thompson's doing the best he can to keep everyone under control. The Boundless Strike and ILTW, he's back in again. Needs to find a crit, needs to find the damage. He can't find Jack. Down he will go. Jirax, he's the man doing more work than anyone else in this fight, but finally he will die. Seb will join him as well, and that's Thompson and PA dead for so damn long. There's just too much control. Brew cannot blink away, cannot get away. 4 heroes dead, and this is Roshan to Gambit.
OG played that fight about as well as you could possibly expect them to. That was against the Refresher Doom. He had double BKB, Shivas, and ultimate. They had buybacks on 3 enemies. Like, they did their best. They got spells off. They were kiting the BKBs. They forced spells. It just doesn't matter. Anytime the Ursa's on a target for more than a couple of seconds, they're just dead. And realistically, Afterlife just is not a target. He is far too tanky.
Goodbye, Nortel.
Yeah. I think this one's in the books.
Yeah, this really is game. Dark is already going for the tier 4 towers right now. There is really no way OG can defend this. Jirax can buy back, but he's got no other friends to work with, and he actually TPs out towards the shrines to pick up the bounty runes. Get some money, so at least maybe some of your stats look better. But this game, game 1, it belongs to Gambit. They will take the Radiant Ancient, and they will take game 1 in the lower bracket of ESL 1 Katowice. GG.
Well, way to keep your composure, Gambit. Very impressive. OG, I think that the previous days we saw them have the easier to execute, simpler lineups that had win conditions